Happy Friday. Welcome. I am Gina Bulow. I'm coming to you live from Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, where I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And today's class, let's see, it's Friday, August 22nd. Oh my, almost the last week. We're heading into the last week of August here. We have the Memories and More album that we are going to be making today with pocket pages. We kind of ran our course through all of the workshops for the most part, and so this was brought to my attention that someone would like to make this, so I thought for August, while we're in transition and waiting for all of the new holiday catalog stuff to arrive, we would do an album. I haven't done one of these. I didn't realize it's been like 2 years it'll be in Christmas. So when you guys get on, say hello, tell me where you're coming from. I see Julie, you are on already, so welcome. A few things or announcements coming up. Stampin' Up! Is still having their 15% off the in-color sale. So the 2025 to 2027 Cloud Cover, Secret Sea, Timid Tiger, Darling Duckling, and Strawberry Slush. Markers, ink pads, DSP that has those colors in them, anything that carries those in colors, ribbons are still on sale. We got about a week and a few days left of that sale going on. We also got a few announcements this week from Stampin' Up! I was just looking at my screen down here and going, it looks kind of, we'll see what happens when I pop onto the other screen. They will be, they had some trouble getting, our cling stamps have the red rubber. Hello there, Yvonne. And they're having some problems with the red rubber, I think getting them and things like that. So they will be phasing out cling stamps, and we will be continuing to move forward with photopolymer. Another change we're going to see is stamps will start to come in like the clear envelopes that our dies come in, so much thinner packaging. So for those of you who are short on space, this will be a really big space saver. And from the looks of it, on our dies, we will have an actual picture of what dies are actually in a die set, where right now it says how many we have, but you know, you have to either look up in a catalog or go online to see. So they'll both be a picture on the stamp envelope and on the die envelope. So that is very exciting. I feel like there was one more announcement that came through. Oh, markers. We are going to be discontinuing. So our Stampin' Write markers, not our blends, the Stampin' Write markers have moved to the last chance. They are already in there. So if you like our Stampin' Write markers, they are great for coloring on your stamps if you want a multicolor look to, you know, if you want to, let's say you have a flower stamp and you want to color the leaves green and the flower one color, that's what our Stampin' Write markers are really great to do with. So, or like I use them to write in my cards. That's what I use. So those are phasing out, but we are, and they decided that they weren't a big seller with the popularity of our blends. So they're letting the blends do magical things and wonderful things for us, and we're going to continue with those, but just note that our Stampin' Write markers will be phasing out. So those were some announcements that came out this week. Let's see, as far as classes go, yikes, I just can't get on top of things. We've had a sick household, and I started off August really good, and I'm like, I'm going to be ahead this month, and I'm going to get ahead and get on September, but didn't work. I've had a sick household. My daughter's had pneumonia, a son with bronchitis, another one with a cough, and a husband who has been dealing with some fluid on the lungs that we're trying to figure out what's happening there. So, and back to school. So it's been a little crazy. So I'm not yet designed for everything, but I will be back here on Monday. We are going to have the morning create class. So we'll have 3 beautiful cards that we'll make on Monday. And then I'm going to be back on Wednesday at 10 a.m. I've kind of decided to not do the 2-page layout scrapbook pages. That class, now that I have the workshop classes, that workshop class has become more popular than my monthly scrapbook class. So I'm kind of phasing that out, and I'm going to bring in some new stuff. So on Wednesday, I will be doing a fall card buffet. So I have a lot of work cut out for me this weekend to get that done. And then on Saturday, it's Labor Day weekend, but it seemed to be the most popular thing, or popular choice of the two options I gave people was that, oh jeez. Okay, now you guys can see what it's truly like when the cat scares me and sneaks up on me. I don't remember which kitty I've got here, but we've got a kitty in the house. So next Saturday, it was highly requested that I bring in the watercolor class. Many people wanted to do this in person. So I did this class online. So if you would like kits for this class, please reach out. I will have kits still available because I'm doing this class in person next Saturday in the Hive in the morning. So if you're local and you would like to do this class in person, we're doing all sorts of different watercolor techniques. So we'll be doing kind of a Northern Lights background here. We've got a beautiful water and sunset background. We're going to be watercoloring on an acrylic block and inking that up. And then that beautiful sunflower embossing folder, which I believe is on back order, or is not available, I should say, right now. Hopefully it'll be soon. I haven't checked the status of that. We're going to color that in. So all different ways to use watercolor to create different backgrounds. So this class is $22 plus shipping. So if you would like a to-go kit, like I said, I have the video that you can go back to and refer to. But if you are local to me and you would like to join us in person, we will be here next Saturday at 9:30. So I think that's what I have coming up. I also am going to have that card buffet that I'm doing live will be offered both in person and online. I'm toying around with the idea. Do I just do it next Saturday after my other class, or do I wait another weekend? So we'll see. I know it's the holiday weekend. It might not be that busy, but you never know. So anyways, on to today's class. Hello, Leslie. How are you? I'm going to show you the class that I did. Oh, it came in today, the sunflower embossing folder. Yay, that'll make a lot of people happy. It's a beautiful folder. So if you can get it, get your hands on it. So I'm going to first bring in the Memories and More packs here, and I'll kind of show you what we're going to do here. So as you guys know, these are our Memories and More card packs. Hello, Karen. They have 4x6 pieces and 3x4 pieces. And here is, so we made this entire album, and I have all of this left. So you guys have plenty. I'm going to see how far I can get with this, if I can make a whole second album with these. I'm not sure. I might need to pull a few out. But so you have all of this left that you can make some cards with or create additional pages in your album. But most of them are double-sided. I should say all of them are double-sided. We have all of these cool patterns in here, bright bold colors, and this class is a $60 order. In that $60 order, you need to order this Memories and More pack. I will show you the page protectors, and you'll need an album. Once you place that order, I'll put you on the list to receive the kit. If you have all these items at home, just order $60 of whatever you need, whether you need to stock up on adhesives or things like that. So you'll need those 3 things for the class, and then I ship an additional kit to you. So you guys will get some ribbon. We've got some Timotega ribbon, rhinestones, lots of die cut pieces. This has lots of dies that I cut pieces from, and so you'll get additional kit from me on top of that, okay? So the great thing about this is this kit is on sale because it has Timid Tiger in it. So 15% off. So just know with that in color sale, some of the DSPs that carry any of our in colors, those are also included in this sale. Okay, so we have that. Here is our pack of, these are the variety pack of 6x8 pocket pages. So there is a variety of pages in here. So you have one page here that's 6x8. It's like a full sheet. And then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sheets that have a 4, or wait, no. See, they're all clear, so they look the same. Hold up. Okay, 2 sheets that hold 2 4x6s. Then we've got 1, 2, 3 that have a 4x6 on the top, and 2 3x4s on the bottom. And then the 4x6 on the bottom with the 3x4 on top. Now you could switch them around. It's just that the opening for these, you know, would be on the bottom, so your pages could fall out. So just be aware of that. And then you have a couple pages here that have 4 slots for 3x4s. So that's what comes in one of these variety packs. And this is not the album that we carry right now, but it is very similar. This is the 6x8 album. And I believe this here, there's like a black binding right here. So that's the only difference here. And it's a 3-ring binder. So that's the album that we carry to go with that. And then this was the album I made. I just pulled all the pages out so that I could put these in. This was the album I made a few years ago. This was Berry Christmas, I believe. Memories and More pack. Hello, this is Maria from Minnesota. Hello, nice seeing you, Maria. I got to see Maria on last weekend. We had that party. So here's that full page. And I always like to use the full page for like my cover page. This is how I usually start an album. So this was a Christmas one that I did. And you can see I got some journaling, different photos that I cut down. And so these are great because for those of you who get overwhelmed with trying to create a 12x12 album, these are really great because you can just do a little 3x4 or a 4x6, decorate it up a little bit, and then tuck your pictures in. And you can even, you know, add, like this one I added some labels and stuff saying that this is Lambeau Field. And this, I just, you know, could do a little bit of journaling. So it's really a quick and easy album to put together. And you can just even leave some plain. Some of these are really pretty just on their own, and I think I have a few that I did just like that. So just using a few dies if you want. I find something that's coordinating. This one I believe had stickers and things like that. This one does not. Okay, so that was that album. And so that is what we're going to create today using this Celebration Expressions kit. Now, I realized I forgot to cut some stuff. I asked Bella, I said, I think I have everything cut. Can you just double check for me? Because I went to work all day and then I ran home, got my stuff, and here I am. And I knew one thing was missing for sure, and I cut that quick, and then I opened my book and I see Post-it notes of things that I missed. So you know, we're gonna go with it and hope for the best here. So our first page that we're gonna do, I am missing this blue piece of Bobby Blue, and Chris doesn't have any in stock here for me to borrow, so we're just gonna kind of pretend put it together here. Get my book. Let's see if I can get my book tucked in here out of the way. So essentially what I did is you have a banner here. So this is the stuff that I include here. So you have a whole thing here filled with all sorts of different die cuts, labels, flowers. We got butterflies. So I brought in beautiful butterflies. I think pretty, what is it? Pretty flowers. I brought in like stylish shapes and nested essentials, notes of texture dies. So I brought in all sorts of things, and I brought in an old balloon punch also. So we have this banner, and this would essentially go on top of, we'll use this. We'll pretend that this is our balmy blue. And I had a sheet. So this is the 4x6 sheet. I flipped it over. I offset it like this. And then, oh yeah, we also use Charming Day. I forgot about that. This went like this. And that is how we got our very first page. Our next page brings in a yellow mat, and I should have maybe organized this a little bit better, but I didn't. This has this cute little balloons, and I tried to keep this a little bit more like this. It didn't necessarily have to be a birthday. It could be an anniversary. It could be any type of celebration. Like Chris could have used this for her $1 million party that we just had. So I laid this here. We have our mat here, and then I have a bunch of balloons popped out that I just layered. Hello, Hope, on the side here. So I took different colors, and like I said, this is a retired punch, but I really wanted balloons, and I thought this just worked perfect. So you're just layering these up like so, and I dangled down a few of see, she's got a note for me here, missing ribbon, which I didn't cut ribbon for the kits yet. So anyways, I attached 2 pieces and let them dangle, and then I added I feel like I'm a little crooked here, how's that? Then I added this bow right here. Okay, so on to page number 2. We'll zoom that out. You need a 3x4. I believe I used that piece, and I have a journaling piece, and we have a 4x6 photo. So for this piece here, decide which way your zigzags you want. You want them to go this way, or if you want them to go this way. And then this is from the Wildflower Birthday Suite. These are the dies, and I also brought in the birthday stamp set, so birthday celebrations. I brought this in because I thought it coordinated really well with it. And one of the great things about a Versamark is you can stamp on your paper. It's not just for heat embossing. So I have the banner stamp that's in this set. So this right here, and I'm going to stamp this so you get tone on tone. So it gives me a really light look, but yet it gives my banner just a little something. So I'm just kind of swaying it back and forth. So it almost gives you the look of stamped off, but you get a good, clean, crisp image. And you could heat emboss these if you want. So there you go. So you can use this to give you a nice tone-on-tone look to your cardstock. Anyone have any big plans for the weekend? Anything exciting happening? I will be doing this class in person on Sunday, and then we have lots of yard work. We've gotten really behind on yard work between the rain and things going on and people being sick, and so we're gonna play catch up this weekend. So we have that, and then also there are these little, I don't know if there's a specific term for those pieces, but like I said, there's lots of pieces in this set. So I'm going to chuck this one on the side here. Hello, Polly, how are you? And then this one's going to go on the top. And then we're going to adhere our flower. And there's not a lot of space. You could glue this down, but I'm going to pop this up. And these mini dimensionals are perfect fit to stick in some of these spots. Like that. And then what do but you Wayne Costello it up, right? And then this piece is complete. So then your album, you got your piece that we did over here. And then they're gonna, piece is gonna go here. And then you got a little place to do some journaling, a 4x6 photo. So that's this page. Our next page. So we're gonna have 2 4x6s, 4 4x4s, or 4x4s, 4x3s, and this one we just left it here like this. This one we're gonna decorate, and this one we're gonna decorate, okay? So, and this is actually the back of this one here. So you can leave this like this if you like it. If you don't like it, you could always put a photo over this. You could do a 3x4 photo if you didn't want to leave that there like that. Completely up to you. So that's the back of the journal. And then this one here, I turn everything upside down. When you flip it over, this is the back. So that's going to go here, okay? So So Karen, are my kids ready and excited to go back to school? There is one yes and one no in that department. Of course, Bella is super excited. She loves school. You know, she's a girl, everything's schooly, everything about going to school. She's even still trying to convince me that she needs a new backpack because it's her senior year and we should go all out. I said, your backpack is fine. What's wrong with it? But Mom, it's my senior year. We should just go all out. And I'm like, I don't think so. She says, well, I'd use it in college. So she's trying to butter me up and convince me to get her a backpack yet. So we'll see if that ends up happening or not. Now, Landon, on the other hand, not so excited. He's like, school. And he's at the high school this year. So my baby, this is the first time, I was just thinking about this the other day. This is the first time in probably 15 years that I have kids that are in one school. I have had kids in 2 or 3 schools because of their age gap. Logan, you know, at one time I had a high schooler, a middle schooler, and an elementary, and that kind of went on for a little bit too. So it's kind of weird that I have kids all at one school. So you have your pink flower here, and then we got a little berry. This glue has been giving me problems, and I have a feeling we're going to continue. So I'm going to grab a new one. If I squeeze it, I'm going to have a big blob of glue everywhere. But he has been excited for marching band. Marching band is new for us. Logan did not do marching band in school, but Landon is doing marching band. So that's exciting. It's kind of bittersweet because I think we are officially at the end of an era of sports. My kids have all done sports at one point or another. As Bella has gotten older, I should say, once she got to the high school, she didn't do any sports, but she's very involved in other things at school. And Logan played sports and music through school, but Landon has decided not to do football or soccer, so I think we're to the end of that. So there's some bittersweet, unless he decides next summer to play in the rec league soccer yet, but yeah, so we're just down to music in schools now, which I love the music. So here we've got 3 flowers here. Daffodil Delight. This is a totally optional thing, but I feel like adding a little extra color on here gives them some dimension. So I'm just going to add a little bit down here on the bottom with my blending brush. But I'll be honest, I don't feel like my kids have been out of school at all this summer. Bella has taken a personal finance class this summer, and she's still working on the course. She has another week or so of that left, and Landon took, he did the online version of driver's ed, the course part of it. So I kind of feel like my kids have been in school all summer long. I have to say though, we had parent night for marching band, and we got a kind of a taste of what their routine is going to be like. They did most of their routine for us, and pretty impressive what they can put together, and you know, watching them kind of dance around with their instruments and stuff. So I'm excited to see the full, next week we will get the full thing where they're in their costumes and things like that for that. So very exciting. And then we also need 2 leaves here. So you're gonna get a lot of these leaves in your kit. So you have this larger leaf here, and then you have this leaf. And I think they're both from Thankful Garden. So I'm going to take this one here, and I'm just going to rip or pull, however you want to look at it, that one apart a little bit. And I'm just going to add a few dimensionals to the top part of the leaves here. So those of you on here, what are some of your favorites in the new holiday catalog? So this leaf is going to go up here, mostly in this white space up here that I'm going to tuck. I should say tuck, we're not tucking. We're going to put our pink leaf over here. Oops, this one gets tucked down here in the bottom. And I'm going to take part of that stem off. So I shortened our stem. And then we'll add some dimensionals to our flowers. I'm going to tuck this flower down in through here, and then we'll tuck our leaf behind it. And this one will just kind of stick behind the leaves down there. Okay. So there's one pocket page done. And our next one has this striped one, so it has the blue. Now if you don't like, let's say you don't want the stripes on there, you could do the blue side. Completely up to you how you want this kit to go. We've got a yellow banner, a circle, and we have our Timid Tiger, my favorite color, ribbon in here. So I've incorporated the Timid Tiger ribbon, and then we have some Balmy Blue twine. There's a 3-pack of twine that has Balmy Blue, Flirty Flamingo, and Lemon Lolly in it. So I've incorporated those two ribbons in this kit. Oh, and I'm forgetting to add rhinestones. What's wrong with me? Gotta add a little bling. So I'm going to pop up the end of my banner. I'm going to stamp Hooray. I am really late. You're not really that late, Mary. It's only a half hour. We still got lots of stamping to do. You just missed the chit-chatty part. Okay, so we've got our Balmy Blue. Hooray is from that Birthday Celebrations. And of course, you could customize this for whatever you're scrapbooking, whether you're scrapbooking a birthday, anniversary, just celebrating something. we'll bring in our tear tape. And I'll put 2 pieces here. And we're just going to weave our ribbon back and forth in the center like this. Do I cut that like, I don't know. I couldn't have done that if I tried. Kind of like put a big U in there. And this will go in the center of our banner. Where's my rhinestones? We'll pull out our rhinestones. Because this needs a little bit of bling. Everything's better with a little bit of bling. We'll just put these up there, like so. Okay, so this is how these pages look together. So we have, I didn't put any rhinestones, so there, you guys can see it with some bling, right? And like I said, up to you if you want to do a 3x4 photo here, or you could do a 3x3 and, you know, have a border, or a like a 2 3/4 by 3 3/4 a photo there. And then we have 2 4x6s and a 3x4. Okay, and here is our next one. So we got 2 4x6s, or actually 3 4x6 slots. So we're going to decorate one of the 4x6 slots, another photo 3x4, and decorate this one over here. Find my piece here. Another thing you could do, depending, let's say you're doing a birthday layout, you could put little pieces inside these little, like fireworks, I call them like fireworks spots. You could put like happy birthday somewhere in here. So you're gonna need this long yellow piece here. And then I have 2 larger banners and 2 smaller banners. And we've got some cute little flowers here. I should have put these all in a baggie per page, right? That would have been the smart thing to do. Then I wouldn't have to be searching. So I'm not going to put glue all the way to the edge because some of this is going to go over the edge. So we're just going to put it on an angle. Oops. Like that, and we'll snip off that extra piece. I'm flipping all my banners over to put some dimensionals on. So we'll just lay these on our banner, or on our strip here to make our banner. I should have probably laid them on here a little bit before I put them down, but no worries, we just slide them around. Like that. And then I've got these little flowers that are in that birthday celebration. So I'm gonna grab a glue dot here and put one here. And one there. And a couple dimensionals, or not dimensionals, rhinestones, a little bit of sparkle in our world. Now you could, if you wanted to, you could take your Wink of Stella, or you could take a stamp. We have a stamp currently. I forget what it's called, but it has like 4 different stamps, but it looks like one large stamp, and there's like stripes and polka dots and things like that. So you could always stamp that and that with Versamark, but I'm just going to take my Wink of Stella and put some stripes on here. We'll put some polka dots on here. You could do this with a marker too. Can't really see it from probably through the camera, but I can definitely see it here in person. So that one is done. Then I've got more balloons for you. We're just going to layer up these balloons, and I glued some down, and of course we'll pop up some more. Anyone have any plans for the long 3-day weekend? That's next weekend already. Oh, see, here I forgot a white strip. Okay, so we have the white strip we're gonna put here, and then you're gonna stamp on it. I put in Celebrate, so I brought in Unbound Love as the stamp that I used here, and I stamped it in Berry Burst. My Berry Burst was way up there. I got it down here, so I might use like Tip and Tiger or Lemon Lime. So there is this layout. Next, I'm putting my pictures so they're gonna go this way. So when you open up the book, we're doing it the opposite of what we've been doing. All right. That's gonna bring in this one with all the different words and all sorts of different languages. We've got a banner here. So my banner, I really like to, I like my banners to kind of be, I guess, flying a little bit, flowing a little more freely. So I always pop up at least the bottom of my banner. Saturday craft gathering with friends. Mary, you are always crafting with someone. It's amazing. So your banner is going to go up here. And we're going to bring in some of that balmy blue twine. Before you know it, Mary, you'll be headed back to Wisconsin. Take a glue dot to adhere your bow. So those large flowers from Charming Day. And it looks beautiful cut out in Timid Tiger, don't you think? I think so. We're gonna Stella this one up. I should show you guys my little bees. So at Chris's party, I made some little table decorations. I found some little tiny purple mum plants, and I had some black and white and gold bee paper that is retired. And so I wrapped that around the base of the flower pot there. And then I made these little bees to go inside. So this stuck inside of our little flowers there. So isn't that cute? So I just put it, I have it sitting in my little toolbox caddy there. Okay. So this is just gonna go on the bottom. Mary's hoping for really nice weather yet so that we can use the pool one last time for the season. So you're just going to lay this on the bottom. So there's that one. And then, you guys like how I do that? This one here, we're gonna do a little bit of fussy cutting. The nice thing with this crown is it's like, it's watercolored, so it's not like you need to have straight, perfect lines. So we're just gonna do our best here to cut. I'll admit I have not used any of the Memories and More since I don't even know when. It's been a while, so I didn't. This one had a lot of, and I don't know if that's, I guess I would have to look at them all. They used to have more designs and words on these DSPs, and this one did not. It was more about different patterns. So there we go. And you would not have to do what I just did. I cut it out and I'm gonna pop it up. I just wanted to have the crown stand out just a little bit more. So this is something that, you know, completely optional. Looks like one really funky set of toes right here. And I'm just gonna lay this over the top like that. And then, let's see. We'll use this one. I don't have any more of these. I'm trying to use up what I have here, right? We're gonna use up one full pack. So we'll see how far I can get with this without having to open up another pack. So we're gonna take a leaf here. And put this down in this corner. So technically, I use this, but we're gonna use this blue one instead because I'm out of this design. But this goes to show you guys that you can change it up, substitute it any way that you want. And it looks like I'm missing the flower. Okay, so this one here looks like this. So your photos would go in like this. We have our 4x6 sheet that we decorated here, our 4x6 photo, our 3x4, our 3x4. So I just put that leaf, or this rose, over the top of our leaf. You could put a sentiment in here, or you could do a little bit of journaling if you would like. And then we're gonna do 2 more 3x4 photos here. Okay, and then this is gonna be the back. So you guys see this crown here? On the back of the crown sheet, when you flip it over, you're going to have this. So I'm also going to take another piece of that greenery. You know, it's a good thing that I a lot of times do my class before I ship kits, because you guys would be missing stuff, I have a feeling. There were lots of pieces in this one to die cut. Okay, and then we've got some beautiful butterflies that we're gonna bring in. And of course, you do not have to pop up your butterflies, but I like the dimension that it adds. So there we go. That's on the other side. And then we have this sheet here that we're going to decorate. And we have this piece that we die cut. I do have to say I really like this color combination on this. And then we have the word lovely. Now, if you were cutting this out at home, remember we have adhesive sheets, and you could die cut it with an adhesive sheet, so you don't have to add any adhesive, like liquid glue, or it would be just like a sticker. You could just lay it down and not make a mess like I'm going to, and have sticky fingers. So these two will just layer over the top. So there you go, again, really pretty shadow effect. And everything is stelled. So I'm going to add some mini dimensionals where they fit. And then along the edge here, I'm just going to cut a little strip. And lay that right on there. And I'm going to put it on an angle. You could put it on straight if you chose to. But I like how it fills in our rectangle. Then you should have a few more of the little flowers. And I only have one right now, so we'll just go with the one. We'll put that there. And then of course I would put a little rhinestone in the center. So that's how quick and easy these albums come together. Kind of nice about these pocket pages. You don't get too consumed with making that big 12 by 12 layout. You're just making little pieces that kind of just get tucked in. Okay. So here's our next one. So here, this would be up to you if you want to keep this to be just DSP here, or I would put a 4x6 photo in here. And then we have 2 3x4 spots. And then I just left this one, these two plain. I wanted the DSP to kind of just show off here. So we've got a circle, a banner, a butterfly, and we're going to use a little bit of a ribbon. So the first thing we're going to do is cut our banner in half and extend it a little bit. Glue our butterfly, oops. Glue our butterfly down, and then we're going to glue, give him a body here. Oh, I gotta put some ribbon on. We gotta do ribbon first, guys. So I'm just gonna lay a strip in the middle. Like that, and then we'll trim off whatever we need to. So we'll glue on those banner pieces. And then trim your ribbon down the way you would, depending on how short you want it. Oops. Like that. There we go. Ta-da! So this one was really easy because we have these, we're gonna leave just like this. We got our butterfly, and like I said, you can leave this one like this, or you could decorate it, or you can make this a 5 or a 4x6 photo slot. Okay, for our next one, do that. That one. And of course we still have balloons, but this time I embossed the balloons. So I did something just a little bit different. So I use, I believe it's called So Swirly is the embossing folder. And we're just gonna pop these on like this and add a little bow to the bottom. And of course you could change up how you decorate this based on your photos, and you could change the layout of this also by changing, you know, a lot of it just depends on what you have for photos, and whether you want them vertical or horizontal. And maybe you need to put more photos in here and less decorating just to get them in an album. So we adhered our little bow at the bottoms like that. And this one's going to be really simple too. And these are great too. So if you're not scrapbooking, but you could take each one of these little pieces here and put these right on some card bases. You'd have to cut this down a little bit because this is obviously larger than a regular card base, but all you'd have to do is cut that down like that, add a card base, a sentiment, and there you go, you have a card right there. So we have this yellow flower we're going to put in the corner with an orange center. And this one too, same thing. Easily turn this into a card. Let's bring that piece in again. Oops. Makes your card making really simple. So too, once again, you could add a little bit of greenery if you wanted, add a sentiment, add some ribbon, a card base, and right here you have a card. So in this one, we have this, and I don't have any polka dots left, but I had stripes, so that's what we did. You could put a 4x6 photo in here, and then you have 3 slots for 3x4s and another little journaling section. And for these pages here, let's see, I think I'm gonna I want to save this one for the back. So I'm going to use this one, and I brought in some berry burst, but we're going to change this up a little bit, and you can do a 3x3 photo, you could do a 3 3/4 photo. So this is a 4x4 piece of just berry burst. I'm going to put this right in the center here. So instead of having, let's say, a 4x6 here, you can have a smaller photo and change up the look. You could also add something to the sides. You could add a border of ribbon. You could do whatever you want there. So this is just to change up how our photos look in our album. We've got some yellow butterflies here. Some beautiful daffodil delight. So like I said, if you've ever been intimidated by scrapbooking, these quick, easy layouts here make it really easy to get an album done and feel accomplished with getting an album done. You know, sometimes you feel like, kind of daunting, and sometimes depending on what the adventure was, or, you know, just finding time. This is a quick way to do this. And any of these pages you could add journaling or sentiments. So that's just adding those butterflies there. And so I use the birthday balloons background, and then the stripes one with the butterflies, and then we have all of these slots open to do 3x4s. And like I said, you can do a 4x4 photo or anything smaller than that to fill that spot. And our next one, we're kind of going to do the same thing a little bit. Oh, I'm going to bring in some Timid Tiger though. Like I said, just changing the way it looks from having just 4x6 and 3x4 photos. Gonna bring this one in. And then this is kind of a sneak peek for the holiday catalog here. This is Christmas Traditions. Has a set of labels. So this is one of the labels in that set. So this is the set I will be playing with for the Creative Escape. This will be my part of my display board, will be that set. So just kind of angle those ends in here. Add some dimensionals. I'll have to cut my ribbon down just a little bit to make sure that it fits in my little slot. And then we're just going to put a butterfly in the center. So just see how quick and easy this comes together. That's the bonus of these Memories and More packs. Okay, so then we have, really simple, we have this one here where we just added, just to have some variation in our photos. We've got this one here, and I let this 3x4 kind of do the talking here by just having pretty DSP. So we're going to flip this one over. So like we did on a previous one, we're going to take that Versamark ink again with our banners, just to add some tone on tone. You could emboss this if you didn't want to stamp it, and you could use anything. You could stamp it in flowers, you could do stripes, polka dots. I'm trying to think what we even have for the background stamps. You could splatter it. So I'm just going back and forth like that. I love the look of what Versamark can do. Just gives you a little bit different look. So we'll put this in the center. Got a balloon. Glue these down like this, and then add a balloon. A little bit of Stella. So that one is done. This one, oops. So we're missing our greenery. Oh my goodness. I'm missing lots of pieces. That's not good. So what I did was actually we'll do this one then. We'll skip that one. We're gonna do this one. We've got our blue flower here. Once again, this leaf here, we're going to tear it apart. I'm running low on Stella. Oh, no, I'm not. If they ever get rid of Stella, I'll be sad. I will say that. So I took a little bit of that extra stem piece off. We'll tuck that in the corner. I took a little bit of this off. That's what I like to do. I like to tuck things in. And sometimes I end up having to take the whole thing off, but there we go. Do something a little bit different. Give it a little bit of, we're gonna give this big flower some extra bling. You could definitely color these with your blends. Like that. Gives your flower a lot more character, right? So with this one here, I've got this one with 2 3x4 photos. This one here goes like this. I took a top leaf off, so I removed just a portion of it and then put my orange rose on top of that. And then this one goes here, and then we still have a slot for a 3x4 photo and a 4x6 photo. And then when we flip this over, make sure that when you put your things on, that when they flip over, your banners aren't upside down. So make sure to correct that. Okay, so you've got your banners here, and then we've got this large one here. Which one is that one? Oh, I must be out of that one. So, what shall we do? Well, we're gonna put butterflies on it. So, here are our butterflies. So we're gonna put that on our candles. So being that we're on the home stretch here, I could open that other pack up, but you guys can see I made basically two complete albums with one pack of memories and more. So you could make a really big album with this. Oops, we'll put his body on here. And of course, you can definitely use this to make some really great cards. So if you're not a scrapbooker, no worries. So there we go. We have this one here. Lots of photo spots. So we had 2 4x6s, 3x4, a little more space for journaling. And then for our final page, you are going to get in your kit a whole sheet of letters cut out. So you'll get a whole sheet just like this, and you can put in whatever you want on this last page. I put congrats because I feel like, I don't know, I guess I had Chris in mind as I was making some of this, as she celebrates her $1 million here, right? And so I just felt like this was a nice way to go, congratulations type of album. And let's see if I can find, well, we're gonna go with stripes. I have the orange in the background, but we're gonna do stripes. I have a lot of these blue ones left over, or maybe I do this one. But then I have balmy blue here, so I would pick a different color. I do kind of like it. What do you guys think? Maybe I'll do that. Because we got the orange ribbon, so we're gonna put the orange ribbon behind us. And I'm gonna show you a way. This is a really large banner, right? So we're gonna cheat our banner just a little bit. So I'm gonna put a little piece of tear and shape here. And I'm gonna go like that. like that. So instead of, you know, having ribbon, you're wasting a lot of ribbon. So we don't want to waste all that ribbon, right? Because you're not going to see it. Okay. So yes, you need a gift idea for someone, you don't know what to get them, make them an album like this. It's a great gift. So there we go. No one knows that we cheated on our ribbon. So that can go in the center like that. And I don't know what I want to put on this one, so I'm actually going to save it, but I was able to get congrats. So a lot of them have double letters. Some have only single letters, but like you have 2 A's and 2 E's. A lot of your vowels, you get 2 S's. So feel free to create whatever fits your album here. You could do, you might be able to do happy birthday, not sure. Yeah, not sure. You could put someone's name here. Lots of different options. So I decided instead of just cutting out for one word, because this is one nice die, I would give you guys the whole alphabet here, and it is up to you what you want to do with it. So we'll kind of just go over our whole album again. And even doing this album the way that I did, I still have leftovers, you guys. So I still have these pieces left over, all right? So you can get a lot out of these packs. So here we go. So what is it? We're at an hour and a half or so. So we roughly made this album, you know, in an hour and a half. So like I said, it took me a little longer to design it, but to put this together and give it as a gift, great idea. So here's our first page. We'll kind of go through here. We added the balloons. We got journaling spots. And like I said, feel free to change these up, you know, whatever works for you for your photos. You know, let's say you need your photos go the other direction. Well, you might just have to change some of this a little bit. Adding some banners, balloons. Like I said, this one, I did it so that my photos were going in a different direction. And all I did here was fussy cut this crown out and pop it up just to let that crown stand out just a little bit more. And I thought, lovely, it could just be that it's a lovely person that you're scrapbooking. It could be a lovely day. So I felt that that word was very versatile as far as what you would want to make of it. Like I said, I kind of wanted DSP to play a role on these pages, bring in two 4x6 or a 4x6 photo, your 3x4s, another 4x6 here, or you could add a piece of ribbon here and cut out the word happy birthday and layer it in here. We got flower here. Don't forget those journaling pieces to record your story. It's just some butterflies, and like I said, this was just to have a different look so that we didn't have just maybe to show you that you don't just have to have 3x4 or 4x6. You could actually cut this down, and let's say you had two different photos. You could put half of this a photo and half of this could be DSP also, doing the same concept as we did right here. So once again, did the same thing, let some DSP here, doing just really simple things, but just to add that little bit of decoration here. A banner, more flowers, got some butterflies, another journaling piece, and then it's just kind of like closing out the story here by having, you know, one final photo that I could put in here along with congrats or happy birthday, or maybe you could put the word, like I might be able to spell out Christine in here, or million, or something like that if I were to give this to her. So lots and lots of options. And like I said, if you go back to the beginning of the video, you can see the album that I did. I believe it'll be 2 years in December. It was a Berry Christmas. I did a Memories and More album that was just strictly for Christmas. So I have that, and just quick reminders too about the classes coming up. I have Morning Create on Monday. We're going to do a fall card buffet on Wednesday live, so using all goodies that are fall related. So we've got leaves and pumpkins and maybe a tractor. So lots of cool things coming your way. I've got that stuff in the works, but of course I'm not finished. Watercolor class will be in person in the Hive. So like I said, reach out if you would like to join us. I have spots yet. I think we have a good group coming on Saturday. So, but there are still spots available if you want to dabble in watercoloring and try your hand at it. And then I haven't decided. I'd love to hear some votes. You guys can message me, or of doing the in-person card buffet that afternoon. I know it's a holiday weekend, so I try to avoid doing anything on those weekends, but I'm already here that day and I have quite a crowd coming, so I thought, well, maybe I would also have the card buffet Saturday afternoon. Otherwise, I am looking at the following Sunday in person, so that takes us into September. So I believe that's the 7th. So that is what's coming up, you guys. Lots of fun coming your way as the new holiday catalog launches the beginning of September. So we're only just, 2 weeks away before that goes live, and we will be in holiday mode. So anyways, I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Thank you for joining me today. I hope this inspires you to take a look at those Memories and More packs and see what you can create with them. And otherwise, I will see you guys all on Monday. Thanks for joining me.